Hey, it's me, Shane here from Organics. We help local businesses get more leads from Google. And in this video, I will be discussing what happens when you have too much duplicate content on your website and just plain out location spam, location page spam, I would call it, where you build like 200, 300 location pages that are meant to rank for local search terms or for you to be able to dominate certain neighborhoods. And what happens to your website over time as you build out those pages or, if you let them sit for a while. Now, this is an example of a website where that pretty much happened, where they were getting, I think somewhere around here, they were getting leads and calls to their business just by building out a location page. However, after a while, you can see here, there's a steep decline here. And I would say it actually started a bit earlier around here, right? Somewhere around September, there was an update. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was about quality content and just Google kind of doesn't like these repetitive content that are on your website. So they got affected by it. And as you can see, their impressions just flatline. So that's the purple line, and the blue line is the amount of clicks. So what a location page, like what is that actually? So if you look here, you can see this is a location page targeting painters serving Lakeland, Florida. So the idea is for this to rank for Lakeland, Florida. And then, right, they list out the services on that page and also the different areas or other cities that they service. Now, for this website, what I do notice is that they don't have any other location pages. So, right, I'm trying to click through to these pages, but they only have a service area page, and that service areas page usually has like multiple location pages on there. Now, this is one extreme of the spectrum. So you might not actually just want one page targeting multiple cities, multiple areas. What we tend to do is, if the client is targeting all of these different areas here, we will just build out these pages. So right now it will be 1, 2, 3, let's say about 9 or 10 different location pages that we built out. That's a reasonable amount, and it's also it's not as crazy as like 200 different pages, as we'll soon see in an example I will show you, where you build out 200 pages targeting like a relatively small area. Right, that's gonna land you in the spam box for Google, in spam category, and Google is gonna crawl your pages but not index them. So as we look here, we can see that, right, they have decided to just put everything on one page, which is not really a great idea. Another, well, not really a competitor, but another website that actually does it pretty well is this website here. They have location pages for every city. So Tampa is an area, and then on Tampa page, they have surrounding areas, right? So they're serving Tampa, Florida, and surrounding areas. So they probably have a location page for this, and then all their way around here, they have additional location pages, so probably for Lakeland and whatnot. So they've decided probably not to go, we can click through to one and just see, but to not go too deep in terms of the location page, because one location page for like a city like Tampa or maybe Lakeland might be good enough for them to rank really well if the content is written really well. So now I'm not sure how they are ranking or how the specific pages are ranking, but you could go a layer deeper and just say you segment Tampa into different major area, maybe East Tampa or South Tampa or Clearwater, I'm not sure, but segment it into different pieces and then just build out a location page for that. Again, you don't want to go too wild with it, because if you do, what happens is that your rankings will tank over time, and yeah, it's going to be a struggle for you to rank anything with your website, because Google just sees your website as a bit of a spammy website. And it's actually true. So if you have 200, 300 pages and you're only targeting like a relatively small area, not the entirety of an entire state or even like the entire United States, right? It's a lot of spam. So I also had like a question I found where this person here was working with a client. I think about 2 months in, they had like too many location pages, 250 location pages with duplicate content. And again, duplicate content doesn't mean that it's 100% exactly the same, but it's mostly the same. So if the content is over 85, 90% pretty much the same, then we're talking, it's already kind of like duplicate content. And Google has the ability to detect how much of the content is duplicate. There are also some tools out there that you can actually use. One of those tools is Siteliner. Siteliner will tell you exactly how much of your content is duplicate content, and it might even be certain sections that you repeat on your pages, right? So Siteliner will tell you, to give you an estimate of that. That way you can, you can check how much duplicate content is on your website, and also broken links and whatnot. So I'm not sure if we can get a report. I'm not sure if you gotta pay for it right now, but as you can see, it's running a scan, and it will tell us how much of the content is duplicate or common content or unique content. So always good to see. So what this person decided to do is don't try to paste a band-aid on it, or at least try to solve the problem. And your initial take would probably be, hey, if I have 250 content pieces that are very similar and Google doesn't like duplicate content, then we just rewrite the content on every single page. Now, the problem with that is that you're still targeting keywords or search terms that should not have a page at all, because there's not a lot of impressions, not a lot of clicks that you're going to get with those pages. So what he should have done, and I'll discuss in a bit, but he tried doing that, right? And it kind of didn't work. What happened is that some of his pages got indexed and then other pages got as he was creating new pages, they would get indexed, and then over time they'll get de-indexed. And that's just Google testing your content. So it happens quite often with the location pages or blog articles or just content in general. Google does say, right, officially, the official statement of Google is that you can use AI content on your website. It's totally fine, right? But they can actually decide afterwards whether your content is good or not. So you can publish 100 articles. I tell my clients, or folks that I speak to before they become client, is if we're doing SEO on your website, we don't want any content from you, especially with AI now. Everyone thinks that they can create content. If it's great, Google is going to rank it. But what you're doing is setting yourself up for failure, because over time that content will be de-indexed from Google and it won't be re-indexed unless you rewrite it. So you're creating more work for us. You are hindering us from ranking your website, and also for yourself, it doesn't help, right? So yeah, it happens with AI content and with stuff like even just location pages that look very similar. Now, one thing is to note is that this is not a Google penalty. I know you might assume that it is because your pages are getting de-indexed, but in most cases, it's not going to be a Google penalty unless you did something really bad, right? And I'm talking about building a ton of backlinks to your website that are just probably backlinks and whatnot, or trying to gain Google in a certain way. I guess we're all trying to gain Google, right? But I'm talking, you got to do something really seriously black hat, and you probably know, maybe not, right? Because I still speak with folks who are still doing CTR, but manipulation, and it just wrecks their website over time. So, but in any case, in most cases, it's not going to be a Google penalty. It's just Google telling you, hey, we don't like the content on your website. Whatever content you have, 50% or 60% of it is duplicate content, and we don't want it. So, yeah, don't worry too much that it's a Google penalty or whatnot. Just clean up your website, remove all of those pages and whatnot, and you'll be back to everything will be back to normal. Maybe immediately, or maybe it will take a little bit of time, but yeah, it's not a Google penalty. So heading back over to this example here, as you can see, it's still analyzing the site, and it's essentially kind of like picking up whether or not there is a lot of Google or duplicate content on the website. And then once it's done, you will be able to, basically say, hey, is it worth my time, or is it worth it to keep that content on there, or should I rewrite it? Now, if this is happening to you, and I think with the post we just read, it was definitely happened to that guy, where as he created new content and published new content, Google would remove the same content or just content that wasn't that good from the pages. So right, he would create maybe home loans Sydney, right, a bit improved, and it would be indexed, but then home loans Parramatta would be dropped. So that's essentially Google again telling you are going too deep in your targeting. We don't need every zip code to have a page, or we don't need every single neighborhood to have a page. So you really want to use AI and maybe Google Keyword Planner, and just your common sense in terms of dividing the city up into actual pieces or segments that people search for. So I know a general rule is just if no one is searching for that, right, typing that in the search engine when you're looking for a particular service, you might as well not have it as a separate page on your website, right? It's great to have every neighborhood in Houston, but if someone just type in something like Katy Houston, or just Katy, or East Houston or Southwest Houston, it would be better to just have pages for those main areas rather than going too deep, and then mention all of the zip codes, mention all of the different neighborhoods on those pages. So the core problem, like I said, the thin content, duplicate content and whatnot. And as for the solution, let's just get to that straight away. So the solution is pruning your content. Like I said, reduce the amount of content that you have on your website. If you have 200, or I guess in this case it's 250, you want to remove at least 90% of that content, right? Keep maybe about 30 pages and redirect, just trim aggressively, because if it's not getting any kind of impressions, it's on page 4, 5, 6, right, it's not getting any kind of rankings or any views in Google, you might as well not have it on your website, because it's wasting crawl budget. The next thing that we actually do is just make sure that we merge similar pages, or pages are covering the similar area, into one power page. So you can see like taking 5 suburb pages of Lakeland and just merging that into one page, and that's going to work much better than having like separate pages that are kind of competing for the same search result. The next thing you can do is make your pages more unique. So add location specific FAQs, add location specific case studies. So if there's a neighborhood, let's say Katy or downtown Houston, where you had a job that you completed, a successful job, add those case studies to that page. The same for reviews. If you can pull in reviews for that specific location, or building, coding those kind of like reviews of your pages, can be much better, because then Google will see location specific FAQs that are helping customers. They're going to be able to see local case studies that are relevant to their area. And even better, if you can add in stuff like area insights, like the weather, or maybe landmarks, or any kind of like government structure building that's in that area, it's going to make your page even more unique, because it's those are things that you can only find in that area of the city. So that's one way to go about it once you've pruned all of the rubbish pages. So another thing that we see is the content structure, that there's certain sections missing from the location page. You can just quickly ask ChatGPT, or check your competitors to see what kind of like structure they have, and get ideas for there. We definitely recommend having a services section, right? Of course, the hero section with a clear call to action, have a form somewhere up top or at the bottom of the page, and then maybe some reviews, awards, or testimonials, just to build that trust, so that people, once they land on your website, they see exactly what you do, where you do it, how they can reach out to you, and also reasons to trust you. So if you can have that all on your website, that's going to work really well. And I think one of the other things that you could add there, but sometimes I like to keep that for the service page, is just the process, right? How do they reach out to you? And that's going to help you convert more overall, and also make the page look a bit more unique. Something that we see a lot is that folks forget the internal linking of the page, so they don't link out to other pages, or there are no other pages linking to that one location page. If you add any page on your website and there's no link going to that page, and that page isn't linking out to any other resources or just citations or references, what's going to happen is Google is going to see it as an orphan page, and it's not going to rank well. It's probably not even going to be indexed, because Google is thinking, hey, they have not even linked out to this page from another page on your website, so it's probably not that important. So why should I include it in a search result? Another thing that we tend to do, and it really depends on the location or just the area that we're trying to cover and how large your website is building out silos. So you can think, just now we had an example with a service area page. Now, under that service area page, you can have the cities, each main city, and then under those cities, you can have the different neighborhoods if you want to go really deep. So this is a real silo where you can see here, this is the home page, and then you have your service areas section. So if we would go back here, we kind of go one level higher to the service area page. Well, sometimes some clients or some websites will have it and other websites won't have it, but this will probably list out all of the different service areas, and you can find them. Yeah, so as you can see, this page actually looks very similar to all the other location pages, but hopefully they have unique content on there. And in this case, they kind of didn't go too crazy with the location pages, so that's always good. But this is the top of the silo, right? So the service areas page. Now, this page links out to all of these different neighborhoods. So we have Pasco County and all of these other areas. And if you want to go one layer deeper, you could check what neighborhoods or prominent neighborhoods are under or in Pasco County, and then build a neighborhood page for those areas. So again, it really depends on how wide or large of an area it is, and if people are actually typing that in Google. Because a lot of times, having a well-written page like this can actually be enough to rank you in a large area for multiple related keywords or just other areas in that regard. Now, the last thing that we like to do is any kind of like page that you publish, have some kind of backlink going to that page. So backlinks can get pretty expensive, but you could do a press release. You could maybe build like some citations, Web 2.0s, or maybe get some lower quality backlinks. In terms of quality, I mean just not as powerful, so they might be a bit more affordable, because you want to have at least 1 or 2 links going to the new pages that you've built. Otherwise, it might take a while for Google to actually notice you, and yeah. So we like to just speed that process up, add in 1 or 2 links. You definitely want to stay away from like the spammy links or just bad links, but at least have something there and that's gonna, it's gonna help you get that page indexed and rank well and make sure that it stays indexed. Another thing that we like to do is add in the internal links to other pages. So in this case, get a quote is going to lead to the contact us page. But if you do have like local content or any kind of like other content to your website, you could just, hyperlink to that. So maybe Wisetack or Wisetack, right? Could be anything. These here are internally linked into other blog articles. So those are like internal links, as I was saying. Here, you're internally linking out and connecting, building a silo or a network of all of the location pages. So this is also very important for your rankings. We see a lot of times where folks just don't do that. And it's one of those things that really helps your rankings if you do it really well. Here, you can see that they are linking out to the privacy policy, terms and conditions. This is actually a requirement actually by law. Otherwise, you risk getting sued. So yeah, that's overall what I'm thinking in terms of like, once we have like a new page or anything like that, and how we get that page to rank. So like I say, if you're